Why this man chose to stay in jail to prove a point. In 2010, a quiet man named Samuel Carter made a decision that would change his life and challenge the very system that tried to break him. It happened in a small courtroom in Birmingham, Alabama, with fluorescent lights buzzing above and a judge staring down at him, waiting for an answer. "Mr. Carter," the judge said, "do you accept the plea deal of 5 years probation for the charges of third-degree burglary?" Sam stood tall, hands cuffed at his waist, and calmly replied, "No, Your Honor. I'm not guilty. And I won't lie to save myself." He had been offered freedom. No jail time, no trial. Just a guilty plea, and he could walk out that day. But Sam said no. Because he believed the truth should matter more than convenience. Because he believed that a system built on fear and pressure had to be challenged even if it meant giving up his freedom. It started the year before. Samuel Carter was a 32-year-old mechanic, known in his neighborhood for fixing cars, volunteering at the youth center, and showing up at church every Sunday with his mother. He had never been in trouble with the law. But in July of 2009, everything changed. A neighbor's house was broken into while they were on vacation. Jewelry was taken. A television. Some cash. The back door was kicked in. There were no eyewitnesses, no surveillance footage, no DNA. Just confusion and panic. 3 days earlier, Sam had been in that same neighbor's garage, fixing a busted ignition on their old Bic. He'd used the keys, left fingerprints, then left. That was all. But when police started knocking on doors, someone mentioned his name. The next thing he knew, he was being arrested at his home, handcuffed in front of his little sister, accused of burglary. At the precinct, he explained everything. That he had fixed the car. That the fingerprints on the keys made sense. That he'd never stepped foot in the house. But the officers weren't listening. They told him it was easier if he just confessed. That the courts would go easy on him. That he was facing 5 years if he fought it, or just probation if he took the deal. His court-appointed lawyer leaned in and whispered, "This is a gift, Sam. Most people don't get this kind of deal. Take it. You'll be home by dinner." But Sam refused. Because he wasn't guilty. Because he couldn't sleep at night knowing he had accepted a lie. So he said no. And because he couldn't afford the $10,000 bail, he was sent to jail to await trial. He stayed there for 9 months. At first, it was unbearable. The constant noise. The thin mattress. The fights. The smell of bleach and sweat. But worst of all was the pressure. He watched other men take plea deals every day. One guy admitted to a crime he didn't do just so he could attend his daughter's graduation. Another said, "I've got bills to pay, I'll say whatever they want." Sam understood them. He didn't judge. But he also saw something deeper. A system that counted on people folding under pressure. A system that measured success by closed cases, not by justice. So he held firm. While in jail, Sam read everything he could get his hands on. Books about law, philosophy, civil rights. He wrote letters to journalists, to legal aid groups, to his pastor. He kept a journal where he wrote, "This isn't just about me. It's about all of us." When his trial finally came, the prosecution's case was thin. They had fingerprints on the car keys. They had a neighbor who thought they saw someone like Sam near the house that week. But they had no witness to the break-in. No camera footage. No physical evidence linking him to the scene. Sam took the stand. Calm, composed, honest. He explained his work, his routine, how he got the job fixing the Bic. He spoke not just to defend himself, but to make the jury understand that this wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was a warning. He told them, "If you punish me for saying no to a lie, then what you're really saying is that the truth doesn't matter." The courtroom was silent. The jury deliberated for 2 days. Then, they returned with a verdict. Not guilty. Sam was released that evening. He walked out of the courthouse in his worn prison-issued shirt, carrying a trash bag with his belongings. His mother was waiting in the parking lot, crying. His sister hugged him so hard he couldn't breathe. He was free. But he had lost nearly a year of his life. He missed birthdays, holidays, job opportunities. And for what? Because he chose to tell the truth and the system punished him for it. Sam didn't go back to fixing cars right away. Instead, he started speaking. He gave talks at community centers, churches, even law schools. He told his story over and over again, not for sympathy, but to spark change. He said, "I saw men accept prison time for crimes they didn't commit just to get back to their families faster. That's not justice. That's blackmail with a badge." He helped push legislation in Alabama that now requires all plea offers to be documented in writing and discussed in the presence of an attorney. He worked with local nonprofits to set up free legal clinics for people facing low-level charges. He became a voice, not just for himself, but for everyone who's ever been forced into silence by fear. Because what Sam proved is this. Sometimes, it's not about winning. It's about standing. Sometimes, justice isn't found in a courtroom, it's born in a jail cell, where someone refuses to lie. Sam Carter lost 9 months of his life. But in doing so, he exposed a truth many were too afraid to say. The plea bargain system in America isn't broken, it's working exactly as it was designed to: fast, efficient, and indifferent to innocence. And unless more people speak up, unless more people like Sam refuse to stay quiet, nothing will ever change. So when they asked him, "Why did you choose to stay in jail?" his answer was simple. Because the truth was worth it. And somehow, it still is. What are your lessons from this true life story? Every week we uncover real stories of injustice. Subscribe to never miss a case. Support justice, share this story.